Welcome to E360 TV, the live streaming and on-demand destination for influential voices and enlightened audiences. We offer trending, grassroots, and purpose-driven content across a diverse range of interests. E360 TV is more than just watching programs. We offer the ability to interact with live shows connecting audiences to real, authentic influencers and storytellers while streaming to millions of devices. Real experiences. Raw conversations. One destination for it all. E360 TV.
5 years ago, the Power of We Symposium was created to provide a platform for kids from all sectors where they could have a safe and comfortable environment in which to share both their joys and concerns. The Power of We Symposium is proud to have served over 250 kids throughout Romania when we took our mission global back in May of 2023. Now, 2 teams of amazing volunteers from both the U.S. and Romania embarked on an 8-day Legacy of Hope tour, bringing encouragement and hope to not only the kids of Romania, but also the adults who support them, and also to over 100 kids here in the U.S. who contributed handwritten letters of hope to our Romania mission of 2023. Now, this year, we are proud to provide this opportunity yet again in October, and we are super excited to up our game. New venue, 750 kids this time, and we want to see you there. We're looking forward to meeting you in person at this year's event, which promises, as always, incredible speakers, amazing content, and of course, some of the greatest kids on the planet. So, mark your calendars for October 24th, and we'll see you here in Chicagoland for the Power of We Symposium 2024. This year's theme is Always Together, Never Alone. Tickets are available now on Eventbrite or at powerofwesymposium.com. Welcome. How are you? It's Friday, so who cares, right? Shit's gonna happen. Have something in place like my little, you think that was a little, oh, he's so silly, that ritual. No, because if I hold it, it's going to go into what I do after the show. It's like, you ever seen somebody driving down the street, like a woman, I always think that's so funny, and her dress is hanging out because she slammed it in the door, or the person, hold on, gets better, in the grocery store. I saw it there, and the airport that has toilet paper stuck on the bottom. It's a big old piece in their walk. Yeah, that's what happens when you take the grunge, the soot, the silt from something that doesn't feel good. That okay, it happened. Don't carry it. Do whatever you got to do. If you got to rub your head and jump around on one foot to leave it back there, do it. You'll be glad you did. There's the bell of purpose. It's here every day, and I ring it, you guessed it, on purpose. Why? Because just like that bell has a ring to it, so does the truth. See what I'm saying? In this day and age, it's hard to tell what the truth is. But if you have conditioned yourself for that tone, because the truth is the only thing that never changes, and never changes on us. You'll hear it. So when I hit it during the show, it's because there's some truth out there. I know you feeding the baby, flat ironing your hair, stuck in traffic, whatever you're doing. I don't want you to ever get so busy that you miss the truth. Can I get an amen? Why, thank you. Listen, it's Friday. It's a great day. Ooh, I'm going to my first political fundraiser tonight. Excuse me while I vomit in my mouth. I have to go because, I just do. But anyway, pray for me. I've never been to one. Have you ever been to one? Put it in the comments. Anything I should know? So anyway, we have someone here today that I know you're gonna love. Her name is KRISTA. That's already a great start. Medlock. And she is a woman who is constantly, and I'm not just BSing, on the go. But when you find out why she's always on the go, you're going to go, oh my goodness, how do I get some of that? Right? So I'm going to get her in here because, she can tell you better than I can show you. See how I did that? Most people say, I can show you better than I can tell you. Well, bring your ass on then. I ain't scared. Call the popo. So anyway, can you tell I'm visiting my ghetto family this weekend? I am. I got to get back into it. Because when I don't, and I show up, they go, when you start talking white, they kill me. But I love them. Don't we love our families through it all? That's right. Guess what? Put some hearts on the screen. It's our virtual way of saying welcome, welcome, welcome. And you're going to be blessed in the manner in which you bless others. Put those hearts on the screen. Here comes KRISTA Medlock. And is it not good? Thank you, Jesus.
Good morning.
Well, you know what, though? I must say something. I remember when you were backstage, you came in, you go, oh, it's been one of those mornings already. Well, you reminded me. I was like, you know what? Because I kind of had one already this morning, too. And I said, you know what? I bet you a lot of people are. So we're going to rebuke all that, get it, push it off the table, and start anew. So welcome, KRISTA Medlock, founder of the Girl Cave.
Thank you.
And every time I hear that name, I think of like cave women in those little fur outfits and stuff. I do. And there was a movie back in the day, I think it was in the 70s, and it was Barbie somebody, whole bunch of bombshells, and they were all cave women.
What?
Yeah, there was a movie. Who knows? Oh my goodness, where's Sharon McQueen when you need her?
Yeah, please put it in the comments. I'm curious.
I'll find out for real. Barbie Benton was in it. That's wow. Lord, see how it's getting better already. At 61, you can reach back to something from the 70s. When yesterday I couldn't even find my shoes right here in the house. So yay. Yes, beautiful, beautiful little movie. Cute movie, we'll say. Not beautiful, but cute. Yeah. So listen, I'm going to back out, let you have the floor. Take about a minute and tell people what you do, why you do it, and how it helps you serve the world and ease some suffering in the world. And then I'll come back in with some fiery questions. Is that okay?
Well, I would say outside of the Girl Cave, I serve women. So my whole career is centered around serving women business leaders and business owners. So I did not know I was going to end up having the Girl Cave was going to be the vehicle for that, but it ended up being that way. Sometimes your purpose and your passion follows you until you accept the mission, right? But the Girl Cave is a social and business, like a hybrid of a social and business platform for women. And our baseline, our foundation is creating content and media opportunities for women business leaders and business owners to be thought leaders and share their testimonies and expertise. And we have a documentary coming out this year. We have a Women in Business Summit coming up soon. So we keep women busy and on purpose.
That's awesome. One thing really just went up like fireworks when it came out of your mouth that I've had so many women who serve women here on the show over the last 8 years, but I've never heard anyone say that they have a social element.
Yes.
Talk about that first. What's that look like? I think that's brilliant.
Thank you. And actually, I'm glad you asked that because not many people catch that. So
I don't know why not. It's not like you hear it every day, but go ahead.
So thank you. Well, I'm a big believer. And actually, the Girl Cave was founded on a personal development platform because I believe that in order to be a good business leader or even a sister or a good collaborator, you've got to get right with self. So we have a selfhood pillar in our organization where we focus on a balance of self and being something to someone else. But if you're not rooted in identity and purpose, it's really difficult to be an effective leader. It's really difficult to grow. It's really difficult to give and serve others if you're not founded in identity. So you do that by being able to interact with others in your skin. Sometimes you got to put the business away and just get to know people and get to know your gifts and your talents and share on a social level. And that really does help in your business. So
makes sense.
Yeah.
I want to ask you, can I ask you to be transparent about something?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I love to ask this question, but I usually ask it off camera.
Yeah.
Because there's so many women that do this and they serve. I specialize in serving women and they're not all doing it for the same reason.
Yes.
And sometimes I think there are those women who have some of those brands that actually has an adverse effect on other women who, because I've met some women and they come in and they're male bashing. They're this. So here's the question.
Yeah.
What do you say, in your opinion, KRISTA, is going on with like when how do I put it? No wonder I've never asked it.
I think I know what you're asking me.
Go ahead.
So people do have different agendas. There are different reasons why women create empowerment groups, business groups, social groups, whatever. Someone said it to me best the other day, because I do these interviews. I'm building a book called Her 100%, and it is exploring, you're going to love this, exploring true connection among women. So I have 100 stories. I'm writing 100 stories of true connection among women, and that book is coming out next year. And one of the ladies said to me, which is so important, she says, KRISTA, there's something so special about the Girl Cave. And please understand my heart, I'm not touting the Girl Cave. This is an important note.
Yeah.
Because our culture really is special and different, and I really can't articulate it. You have to experience it to know. But she says, I can see that when you created this, you created with, the pure, you didn't create, let me say the opposite. You didn't create it out of trauma. And there are a lot of women that create organizations out of trauma. They've been hurt. They've been whatever and we all have trauma, right? But you got to heal and then decide that you're going to take the healing part of those things and create something special for women. And a lot of women are doing it out of spite. They're doing it out of malpurpose. They're doing it out of ambition. I wanted to run from this, Dr. Lauren. If you had told me a few years ago that I was going to head, 1,600 women and growing organization for women, I'd be like, there's no way that I'm doing that, but you can't run from your calling.
You sure cannot. I'm gonna tell you, I was on my call last night, my kickoff meeting for the Power of We Symposium, and I heard something yesterday. I wish it had come from me, but it didn't. But I heard something yesterday. I had a young man on a call, and we were looking at his sizzle reel. He was interviewing this Canadian superstar. She's a singer over there. And she said, your job is what you're paid for. Your career is what you're paid for, but your calling is what you're made for. Oh, see, right?
I like that.
I do too. I do too. I started to just put it out there, but I was like, she got more money than me. I ain't trying to get sued. I ain't trying to get sued. Did we learn nothing from Jay Shetty? So anyway, well, because he was using other people's stuff. But anyway, that's exactly where I was going, because there was a movie some years back. I wish I could remember who it was. I could see her saying it. This light-skinned black girl, and she knocked a woman out, and she goes, "It's bitches like you that make it hard for bitches like me." And that's really what I was getting at, because I almost stopped accepting female guests who specialized working with women, because
Wow.
I thought they were all the same. And
Yeah.
then they get in here, and I felt like, the only reason I wasn't beat down was because I'm gay, so I got to pass. But I said, woo, those that rough trade, those breeders, those my brothers who were breeders, I wouldn't want to be in a back alley with her. You see what I'm saying? Right. So let's talk about so that is a thing though.
It is, but I think honestly, I think there's a shift. I mean, there's people, women are going to have to change. You know what I mean? And I think there are some really great organizations, there are really great thought leaders who are changing that.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be honest with you. For me, um, it's taken a lot of refinement. I have to continue to learn how to love women, even when it doesn't feel good. Sometimes, when I'm mistreated or things like that. And I think it's going to take personal responsibility for everyone to be able to the greater good. This is why our organization exists. The greater good is more important than somebody cut her eyes.
Everything.
Yeah. Yeah.
It is. So how long have you actually been swimming in the girl cave pool? Oh, wait a minute. That almost seemed like a lesbian reference. It's like, oh, when were you swimming in the lady pond? Sorry.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? How long have you been doing this?
Yeah. So it started off with just doing events and activations for women businesses. So 2019. And then our 1 year anniversary hit 3 weeks later, COVID hit. So we sat out actually for 3 years. I just brought back the events and programs January 2023.
How did you keep your people engaged during
That's a
that?
good virtual events, creating like a mind shares, and we called them espresso talks. And
Ooh,
we get on in the mornings just to get people energized and getting them creative about what they could do with their business while we're in this COVID unknown.
yeah.
So that really built our following. It really engaged, and it built our brand. And it gave me time. Actually, COVID was a blessing, and I hate to say it. It kind of sounds weird to say it that way.
No.
Blessing for me, because I could take a seat and really evaluate, dream up, and create what it is today.
What do you personally feel is your personal greatest benefit from this work that you could have never seen coming?
Well, that's funny you say that, because I think I'm going to say it from this vantage point. My biggest fear is leaving this earth without accomplishing what the Lord had for me.
Wait,
And
you need to
so
say
I
that
think
one. You need to say that one more time.
my biggest fear is to leave this earth without accomplishing what the Lord has for me. And so that's really why I do it, because it's not easy. The seat isn't easy. I serve because I really believe that I am meant to serve. And I just keep trying to refine. And there's blessing in that. It's funny, because the most uncomfortable moments in life, the most uncomfortable situations, there is something so much more powerful and fulfilling when you get through those things. Refinement doesn't have to be an ugly process.
Sure
So,
doesn't. It sure doesn't. I'm writing down a note because I know a publisher of a magazine I want to connect you with.
oh,
So
yay.
remind me to give you that info before we leave
Okay.
backstage. So here we're going into your pantry, your
Mhm.
personal strength pantry, let's call it. Because when people are doing these kinds of things, and the people that receive the benefit from it, they don't realize, or they don't see the kind of morning you said you were having before we came on the air. They don't see when they're sleeping, you're up doing stuff. They don't see when you're, going, oh, how am I going to make this shit work?
Yeah.
And so what do you attribute? How do you get back up when you feel like, oh, I just can't do this anymore? What is it that you reach for
Mhm.
that pulls you back up and by the bootstraps and keeps you going. Because I bet you've been tempted
Oh, yeah.
to say like, y'all, what? I'll talk to y'all later.
I'm done. Yes, I had that conversation 2 weeks ago.
You know what I'm saying? So, and what is it that keeps you dedicated and invested?
Well, so number one, my faith. But number two, there are so many women who do benefit from what we do. And if you get caught up in the things that aren't working or the tough things, you lose sight of what's really happening in your community. And so I spend some time to recall, the notes that people send, or, if you look through our page, you see breakthrough, you know, and I think I'm reminded that, there are people that actually benefit from this, and that we are serving. And
Mm-hmm.
there is that's a staying power for me, because I don't want to pull or take away from the women who are benefiting from what we're doing. So
Well, I got to tell you, I eat on here.
I know you should have let me know, because I love to eat.
I know I eat breakfast. That's why it's bathroom moments. I'm trying to tell y'all. Wasn't
I
that
was like,
smart?
can I eat? I would have
Come on now.
still been eating with you.
Wasn't that smart to start a show at 8 a.m. that with a bathroom? That way, if I woke up 2 minutes before the show, nobody knows unless I didn't do this. I'm not kidding. One day that happened, and I had slobbered in my sleeve and stuff. Right? I'm not kidding. My lips were all ashy. I was like, right. I'm gonna tell you this. I really admire what you do, KRISTA, for a number of reasons. But let's switch over to the recipient.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what does the ideal Girl Cave client, participant, sister look like? Who is she? Is she a business executive? Is she a housewife? Is she a student at Yale? Who is she? And why do you think they come to you and stay with you?
Yeah. Gosh, that is such that's a big question. And I would say most of the women that come are dreamers. Because we tend to really attract people who are ready for something more, whether it's, building a new business, whether it's a C-suite person looking to have more fulfillment in life, or, an entrepreneur who wants to have that's growth minded and wanted to be around that. So it is women who have aspirations, but just want to be around the energy that can really help them activate those aspirations. Because you can be a part of, and people are like, oh, that's great, you want to own a business or you have a side hustle, that's great. But we really do focus on propelling people into, I love their trajectory.
Yes.
So
So do you have do you find that a lot of your new members or participants come as a result of someone who's already there singing the praises?
it's actually a little bit of both now. Yes, we get we're having that wildfire, when people start talking, oh, do you know about the Girl Cave? Like, that's happening all over the US now. People are like, have you heard about the Girl Cave? And so that's kind of cool to see and hear that happen.
That's how I found out about you.
Yeah.
Know who?
I think but I also think that there's been some strategic things that we've done. I think the content is really, really important. We're re-educating, like when we do little mini films, like we do this thing called Her Perspective and things like that. That's why I can't wait to partner with you all, because I think I think when they see some of the content, they know that it's something different, and it's something that they're like, this could be my change, right? They can align with it because it's something different that creates hope there.
Yeah. I'm gonna tell you what tipped me off that you were the real deal was see, everybody's a visionary, but visionaries are different according to where they're at in their development. In other words, your vision gets stronger.
Yeah.
You can see farther down the road as your spiritual, mental, all your strength, all your things grow. So does your vision down there. And now, when you said you were doing a documentary, nobody does a documentary unless they have something they know they want to be around for hundreds of years.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So let's talk about that. What's that all about? What's it called? And Where's it at? How's it coming along?
We're in editing, so I'll be
Oh,
calling you.
oh, you've already shot.
We finished filming in December.
Wow.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And I am learning. I'm a newbie at this, so I'm learning how that works. But the documentary is called The Girl Cave Movement. And we really do unpack, because even without all of our programming, the Girl Cave means something for people. Even if you don't go to an event, what I hope is that that becomes symbolic of your personal incubator where you become the very best you can be, right? So the Girl Cave doesn't have to be, you can be in California and still create that as a mantra for moving forward, right? But the Girl Cave movement really is going to kind of challenge the empowerment movement, if you will.
Yeah.
What does that mean today? And what does that mean to the future with all this evolution of women collaborating and coming together? Like, we really do talk about relationships among women. We talk about the future of women. We talk about even how did empowerment even start? And it's interesting, historically, it really today in the United States really isn't the way that what is rooted in really doesn't apply today. So we're kind of unpacking that and saying, there's a new thing. There's a next generation. I can't say what it is. There's a new thing happening in the world of women, in the future of women. That's why we're breaking, we talk about breaking the glass ceiling and all these things, but there's a renaissance happening in the future of women and what women mean to the world, the future of the world. So the documentary is really cool. There's 10 thought leaders who really share some of their own personal testimonies. And we take that and we are like, okay, what does this mean to a collective of women? And so it's really cool. I mean, I guess I'm a little biased, but
well, yeah, I wonder why. So when do you think we'll be able to see it?
So we'll have a preview trailer February 22nd. So in a couple of weeks.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, you got to send it. We'll play it here on the show every day.
Okay. Yes, we will have a trailer, and then we will officially allow people to stream it in a couple of months. So that's something we're gonna talk about.
Perfect. So is the Girl Cave a nonprofit?
No.
Now, I knew it. You know how I knew? That's what set that question up. Because my thing, the Power of We Symposium, is not a nonprofit because of the same reason the word came out of your mouth less than a minute ago. It's a movement.
Yeah.
Which means it has to be free of collars.
Yes.
And things. And with nonprofit, not to take anything from it, but that means you got to have a board.
Yeah.
And it's everybody else's agenda.
Yeah.
Right. Wow.
Yeah.
You're the first person I have met that has a move that's said what you said. Mm-hmm. Because I caught somebody before they tried to say they had a movement and it was a 501.
Yeah.
I was like, that ain't a movement. I sit here. But that is. So let me ask you, the reason I said that thing about the vision down the road to the future and being a visionary, because I wanted to ask you, when you really look down the road as far as you're able to see through your spiritual eyes, what do you see? Let's say 20 years from now for the Girl Cave. What do you see?
So, and please understand where this is coming from, because it will be next generation. There's no copying. We'll create our own network, but it's kind of like, it's like the next OWN. Like, it's a network of various different media channels that women own and project. And, ultimately, I think that we have the ability to change media, how women are represented in media, our voice in media. So the idea really is to be the next generation media conglomerate, right?
How many people on the Girl Cave team?
So we do have a board and a few contractors. We have a board of 12 and a few contractors. So we are small but mighty. But we also remember, our whole business model is that our content and our thought leadership really comes from our own community. So business leaders and business owners that just come in and they happen to stumble into our business summit, they're like, well, do you have a platform? Let's get you on the platform. So we're giving our content and all of that, which can be part of the really laborious, the costly and laborious part.
Oh yeah,
is inherently in our business model. So
A lot of people, myself included, it's just an automatic thing, I think, when we hear that it's a woman-owned thing and we serve women, and even with your name locks it down, the Girl Cave, no question there.
Yeah.
But oftentimes there are men moving around inside helping and supporting.
Yeah.
Talk about how that works with you all. That's interesting, I
We
think.
do it, it's funny you say that because there are a lot of organizations that we've partnered with who serve women. Like I can name a few right now, and they have a
Mhm.
passion for making sure that women have the resources to be empowered and achieve their purpose and goals. So if they are like-minded in mission,
Yes.
absolutely. And let me just say that women can't
Thank you.
go, can't conquer the future without men. This is not one of those type of organizations. We need allyship from men. So
Mm,
I'm not suggesting that we're doing this alone. So
mm.
yeah,
Now, I think you have an event coming up.
yeah,
Talk
yeah.
about that.
So it's our annual Women in Business Summit, and it's probably one of our most popular events. We have 10 speakers. We are actually doing it at one of the local theaters here because, again, I shared with you, we'll be previewing the documentary there. So it's just a little bit of a different, we always try to do something a little bit disruptive in where we locate our
Right.
events. But the themes are really what's interesting. It's a Women in Business Summit, but we titled it Victory.
Mm.
And so all of the information is really about being victorious in each of the subject matters that we're discussing across personal and business. So,
Nice.
yeah.
So you said here, where is that?
Oh,
Where
I'm
are you?
sorry. Yeah, I forget we're not in the same. I'm in
Right.
yes, Dallas, Texas, specifically
Oh,
Plano, Texas.
yay.
Yeah. So
All righty. And when is the event?
it's February 22nd,
That's right. You said February 20. Is it a 1 day, 2 day, all day?
one day, 9 to 4. Lunch, everything's included in the ticket. A lot of great little surprises. We're going to do a little happy hour that benefits breast cancer awareness after. So the
That's
full day.
awesome. That's awesome. Yay.
Yeah.
So what is something, let's do two things. What is the thing that you feel people love the most about your work? And then I'll ask the next one. I'll wait.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Authenticity. We just, there's nothing contrived. It is what it is. I think the reason why people partner with me, the reason why the board are so supportive and women stay are our value system. I'm just not I don't, no judgment or indictment on any other organization, but I put my value system first and I don't compromise it. And, sometimes that could be difficult, but I don't compromise it.
That's good for you. Good for you. And what would you say is your greatest struggle in this work? That thing that you just go,
Yeah.
what? Right. What is
Um,
that?
my biggest struggle, I'll be honest, is continuing to mature as a business leader to make sure that I can love every woman the same. That's my biggest. I mean, it's a struggle, but it's also it's a necessary thing, and you can't lead a woman, a group of change makers without owning that you have to make sure that everyone feels empowered, regardless of differences, regardless of, again, how people treat. Not everybody that comes to the girl cave are going to be nice, you know what I mean? Like, or be ideal. Um, so I think for me, it's just making sure that I can continue to mature and mature and refine as a leader.
Mhm. This is I when I said fiery questions, you'll know exactly why I call it that at the end of the thing. But I want to know this because I know it happens, and I know that you deal with it with grace and dignity. So I'm going to go ahead and broach the question. A lot of people, unfortunately, in this industry of influence that we find ourselves in, are very stingy with sharing things. For instance, like when you go to another women owned or serving women event or
Mhm.
whatever, I know because the people be like, they're shocked when I just open up my Rolodex.
Yeah.
Or, like I said, I wrote down that publisher, right?
Hmm.
And some people like, why are you telling them that? That's your competition. So,
Yeah.
what do you do when you see another woman-owned CEO looking at you through the eyes of man, that's my competitor. How can I cut her down to the knees?
Yeah.
Because you know what happens, and you can tell when it's happening, right or wrong.
Oh, I have clear, but I know that before they even get forward. So discernment is real. And I think I have come far enough in my journey to identify it very, fast.
Mm-hmm.
And I have learned, because this is a learned skill, how to put not necessarily alienate anybody, but put a boundary where they're not even close enough to be able to approach their ambition with me. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I think once I have that discernment, there are things that I do to pull back without being unkind. That's not an unkind thing. We don't have an event. Like there's not a discussion or anything like that or a bad exchange. I will be professional and loving to everyone. But there are certain, like you may not be able to contact me through my personal cell phone and, so, and I may not have a meeting with you, and that's okay. Right. Because I won't entertain that. I did not grow. This is important for me to say. There are a lot of opportunities that have come to me. I've done a lot of things outside of the Girl Cave that have given me, very, key people that could help this business go to the next level faster. I don't take advantage of those connections. I don't believe in that. I didn't grow the business on that. If in the event, if they see our maturity and decide that that's something they want to offer, it doesn't mean that I don't approach strategic relationships. Let me be clear, but I don't take advantage of relationships. And I don't believe that people that come and approach me should do the same.
Amen. Amen. So speaking of preparing, what kind of work or what kind of background led you to the work?
Yeah.
I mean, you were doing something and then light bulb moment, aha moment, and the Girl Cave was born.
Yeah.
So what was your springboard, so to speak?
Yeah. Well, I am a branded marketing strategist, and I own a brand consultancy. And, I would have clients, and all of my clients, many of them were women, because I did a lot for the beauty industry. I was a key strategist for the beauty industry, and I've launched over 70 brands. And
oh, wait, hold on right there. I've been waiting. I knew it was going to come. That's why I loaded up. So, because I was going to ask, I was like, can you explain how this, I mean, if I was going to come back as a woman, it would be her. I'm just saying. So, because I mean it. I'm like, the face is beat, the hair. Yes. So, okay, let's talk about that. You were in the beauty thing, because I get it now. Because in the beauty industry, because I've talked to I have a Mary Kay woman who is a coaching client, and a woman who owns a cosmetic company. And the thing they say breaks their heart the most is how so many women think that the only beauty is what's on the outside.
Yeah.
And they don't see themselves like other people do. Talk about how that helped, how the beauty industry work helped push you. Well,
there's interpersonally and personally, I would say, yes, the kind of misnomers that happen, as marketers, messaging, all the messaging we put out there, it depending on what company and what brand you're working with, it could be something that perpetuates that unworthiness, right? So women have to own their worthiness, right?
Yeah.
And so regardless of what's happening in media, just re-educating and teaching women that your worth doesn't come from those things that you see. I absolutely love myself. I think it's an honor that I'm the only KRISTA A Medlock in the face of this earth, right? And
I know that's right.
Right. And I try to impart that to other women, because I'm like, do you see how purposeful and unique that is? Like, that is the coolest thing ever, to be the only person on this earth. And so that is why, I do serve women. But then on the business side, it's learning that women had all these aspirations and didn't have enough resource and power within themselves to overcome themselves to be successful. So I wanted to help them do that. So I just started extracting some of my women business owners and saying, okay, we're going to do this new thing.
Yeah. So
and
when you're sorry, because I'm old. Well, I'm not old. I'm 61, but things fly out. I'm trying to hold them in the cage before. Flapping his wings trying to get out. In other
Yeah.
words, fleeting moment. I want to ask you this because I think it's important. When you were working in the beauty industry, were you independent or did you work for a company?
Both. I started off at working in corporate, and then I left
Ah,
when I was like 25, 26. I wanted to do my own thing, and there were some things
uh-huh,
going on in corporate. I'm not a red tape girl. Like
uh-huh,
so I decided to leave, and I negotiated some pay.
right.
And I came home and I said, "Mom, I left my job." She was like, "What?" I was a director of
You ain't
marketing for,
living here. What?
yeah. But it was the best thing that it was the biggest risk that I ever taken at an early age, and the best thing I could have done.
What was that bitter taste in your spirit that made you say, not me?
Yeah, I have a lot of life, and corporate will try to stuff and put you
Chew
in
you
those
up.
rigid, yeah,
Yeah, they'll chew you
and
up.
yeah,
I
and
want to ask you this
mhm.
because I have a client. As a matter of fact, she's got a show premiering Sunday.
Yeah,
Gloves Off with
yeah,
Dr. Kalpana Sundar.
yeah.
Now, I found it so interesting. She is a board certified surgeon and she walked away from it because of her male counterparts at the same hospital
Hmm.
getting paid double
Yeah,
for the same surgery that she considered, she said in many cases I was a better surgeon, but
yeah.
I got paid almost half of what the men. I didn't know that shit was still going on, to be
Hmm.
honest. And so let me ask you, do you feel that how do you feel? Where's the needle? Is it moving at all as far as women being compensated equally? Why is that such a big deal?
It is a big deal because they're being underpaid for their
That's what
skills.
I mean. Why aren't people why does somebody say give Bob this and give Greta that and they're doing the same job and in many cases Greta is blowing Bob's work out of the water.
Yeah,
What how is that still happening in
I
your
think
opinion?
it's a conditioning. It's a lack of awareness.
Girl,
It's some are unaware that they have this construct in their head that delineates women to a lower level. Like some really believe that women are inferior, and so they then make choices based on that. And they've been so desensitized and conditioned to look at women through that lens that they can only characterize the opportunities around that based on that construct.
you
Now
know
there
what?
are some,
Oh, go ahead. Go
yeah,
ahead.
there are some that are aware,
The
and
women. There
yeah,
who is aware? There are some who.
people who underpay, who are creating these systems of underpay and
Yeah, yeah.
inequality, but are just doing it just because they are purposely undermining women. But um, I think also let's take responsibility for both sides. I think women need to assert themselves to get
Thank
the pay that
you.
they want as well.
Right, because to me, when I hear those stories, and because I get clients who come and they're losing their women who are because most of my clients are women,
Mhm,
87%,
mhm.
and they're because they're I work with them, the men ego. Ooh. Um,
Yeah.
they admit after a few sessions that they're afraid that they're losing their ability to dream. And they're in those situations
Mm,
where they're underappreciated. And it makes me think when I hear of a woman making less for the same job, but she's been there for 16 years and she's going to ride it out. To me, what's different? That's the same thing as a woman who gets slapped or beat every day and
right.
decides to stay. So
Yeah.
let's talk about mindset
Yeah.
inside the Girl Cave brand. How
Mhm.
much of what you do is dedicated to growing and empowering mindset?
Everything. If we cannot accomplish our mission without focusing on mindset. We can't make change without making sure that people are grounded in positive mindset.
What can we do as men to help the movement
Yeah.
kind of balance for
Yeah.
all men, women?
I think, have well, that's a co-laborship, right? Because I just don't think that men can do it on their own. I think it's having open conversations. I think it's men being megaphones for what
Mhm.
women are doing. and supporting it. There's one, and I just met him last year, but there's a gentleman named Eric Blake. He owns a wealth management organization, and I've met him one time. We've had a couple of Zooms, but when I tell you he is present in everything that I post, he speaks about me in rooms where I am not present. He shares my posts and advocates for what we're doing. That's the type of allyship that should happen consistently, right? And he has no agenda other than the fact that he really believes in what we're doing and wants to be an ambassador for that.
Uh-huh.
I think men can do that,
You want to hear something interesting?
Mhm.
And I don't know the exact percentage, but I know at least 2 or 3 times that it's happened, including the situation with meeting you.
Mhm.
No shortage of women serving women that come, like I said earlier, over these 8 years. But the ones who usually end up sticking in my Rolodex or in my world, or I connect them to people that I love because I love to introduce people I love to people I love, are not women who reached out to me themselves. There
Mm.
are women who were referred to me, and in all of those cases where they stuck, they were referred to me by another man.
Mm. Okay.
See, that's why I was asking kinda a little bit about how they are about openness, and here, you need to meet my sister. Now, I know there are those who, but I just find it interesting because you came to me through,
Jay,
that's right, Jay, say his last name?
Mimey.
Mimey, yes, because I always say it wrong.
Yeah.
His last name, yeah.
I think it's I hope we haven't butchered it. Tell him I'm sorry, Jay.
I know, Jay, bodybuilder Jay,
Yeah.
great. He's a great book. I'll tell you that
Yeah.
much.
Yeah.
But yeah, and he just went on and on. So I was like, well, ooh, let me. She's better than sliced bread, according to him. Let me check, and he was right. So, what does that make you feel when? How does that make you feel when you hear that? There are men out there that get what you do and are there to help you do it in a bigger way.
It just means that the Girl Cave mission is coming through, right?
Loud and
I'm
clear.
not going to take credit. I cannot take credit for it. Maybe that the Girl Cave mission is coming through and it's relatable to both sides. Yeah.
So if there were an age group in this demographic of Girl Cave women,
Mhm.
what would you say would be the baseline that you guys, you know what I'm saying? College, high school, grade school?
Actually,
What?
no. Although we are attracting young professionals now, but our demographic really is like between 35 and 60.
35 and 60. Do you
Yeah.
think you'll ever do things to start imparting the Girl Cave wisdom earlier into young girls?
Absolutely. It's just that we, obviously with the
Well, you got
amount.
to do one thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, get this down, and then
Yeah.
I can totally see it, Krista.
Yeah.
I can totally see it. I think it's absolutely phenomenal, and I'm just so pleased that we have had you here, and I know you're gonna come back over and over again. Now, talk about this television show that you're going to launch this year. What's that all about, and,
Mhm.
who's what kinda guests are you gonna have? What's the theme? What are your hopes with that one?
Yeah. Well, just to set the state, we had a partnership with WFAA, so we worked through the Good Morning Texas brand, and we did
Mm,
season 1 through there, and the show premise was change makers.
change me.
And the second season really is a longer 30 a half hour, not 30 minutes, but half hour show. You know how that works in TV land, but a
Yeah.
half hour show. And we're really, 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 really talking about it. I want to call it the empowerment project, but I'm trying to be careful because that's really going to change based on the documentary launching. So I'm trying not to,
Okay.
spill the beans too early, but
Right.
it is like an empowerment project where we bring women from our community to talk about testimonies of growth and success and change making and all of that. But it's at a deeper level. We get to bring on more guests and get in deeper conversation about it. So really excited.
Mm. And a little thing about your family. What were the dynamics with your siblings? Are you all girls, all you and a brother? What was that like?
I am the youngest but the oldest. If you know what that means. But no, my sister, I have an older sister and an older brother.
Oh, so you really are the baby, but
Yeah.
you run the show.
I don't know if I run the show.
You're spoiled.
I'm not.
Baby girls
No,
are
no, no, no.
always spoiled. No?
No, I'm not spoiled, but I am the one who I'm the renegade. I'm the outlier. I just go and
Well, they
conquer.
say that the youngest is usually more free-spirited
Yeah.
because it was more hand. By the time they get to you, they're like, "Oh, okay, go ahead then, whatever."
Yeah.
You know, whereas those older ones, "Where are you going?"
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
that's the benefit of that.
Yeah.
So, and on that topic, I want you to think about this one. If you could pick up the phone and call the 12-year-old KRISTA,
Yeah.
and you had a minute to drop something in her world one time, what would you say?
You know, it's funny you say that because I need to go back to where I was at 12. That sounds funny because
Wow.
what you don't know, I wrote a letter to myself when I was like 13. And I wrote out, in fact, one day I'm going to send it to you so you can publish it somewhere.
I will.
But I wrote out a letter to myself, like a proclamation. And I said, I'm going to be this. I'm going to be like, I used words. It had to have been a God thing. And I wrote about this in one of my books. It was a God thing because it was like, I'm going to be charismatic. I'm going to be unyielding in my goals. Like this is a young teenager articulating this way. And it's like a 3-page letter, declaring what I'm going to be for the future. And when I read back on it as a 44-year-old woman, it came true. Like, let me just say, so manifesting, and declaring your purpose and identity and the things that you want to become is real. It
It is
works.
real.
And so I don't know that I need to go back to doing that for myself today. So I think my 12-year-old could come to me and say,
So you'd rather the phone ring now, it is her. Hey,
she's calling me.
I'm here. Just let me remind you of what we
Yeah.
were talking about back here. Right. How interesting.
Yeah.
I think that's awesome. I really think that's awesome. So, but the KRISTA of today, can you shed a little light? We got a couple minutes left on some of your grounding techniques, some of the things that are your rituals,
Mhm.
things that you do, you
Mhm.
practice them,
Yeah.
that keep you right here so that you can show up as best you can as
Yeah.
often as possible.
Yeah.
Share some of that, would you?
I spend time with myself. I sit with myself. Everyone knows me. There will be a time where you can't get in touch with me on phone. I won't be around. I'm around people all the time, right? But I know the importance of having that alone time. And I do. I'm one of those that can sit here in my house for a couple hours and just be quiet.
Just be
And
quiet.
yeah, just
I
be
have
quiet.
that. I have Wednesdays. Wednesdays, it's all in my car.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Wednesdays when I get in my car, I'm going places. No Sirius XM,
Yeah.
nothing.
It's quiet.
Just driving, or if I'm on a road trip, and that's so important.
Right.
So remind us again. The event is February 22nd. Tickets
February
on
20th.
Eventbrite. Where do they get those?
Yes, Eventbrite. I think there's a link somewhere, but I did. Yeah, they're the Women in
It
Business
is.
Summit.
I have a link. I just want to tell you why, but it's like this long.
I know. I copied it real quick right before the show.
So if they go to Eventbrite, what do they Google? And I will get the
If
short
you
version,
pull it,
guys. I'll put it in the comment section
yeah,
after the show for you. So
yeah.
what's the name of the
If you
event?
Google the Girl Cave, if you search the Girl Cave on Eventbrite, it will come up. We
Okay.
do a lot of events through Eventbrite.
Okay. And
Yeah.
is that a big, how many people you expecting?
Maybe we're keeping it tight. Maybe 100, 150. Keeping it
Oh,
really tight.
that's
It's an
sizable.
intimate one. Yeah.
And I'm certain there's something on the website.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
And
Something
on
on
our
the
Facebook
website.
page. Yeah.
Okay. So if a person wants to be, is there a vetting process, or is it, listen, if you're a woman who wants to do better, be better, and pour into others, come on, we got
Just
room for
come
you
on.
too.
Yes, just come on.
Oh, I love it. KRISTA
Yeah.
Medlock, what a blessing. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you so much for today. I just love you.
Thank you.
And I can't wait until we have your show here on E360 and Trajectory, because boy, you will definitely, our stock will go up. Our stock
Thank
will
you.
go up.
I'm excited.
And you're welcome back anytime. Listen, you guys, get out there. Get out there and just stay out there.
Yeah.
Hide it under a bushel? No. I'm going to let it shine. I want to see you guys in the stratosphere. Have the best weekend ever. God willing, I'll meet you Monday morning over on the front porch where together we will have another illuminated conversation. You know, there's a promise, 2 or more, and it is live and it is in effect. So get out there, be the best you, reach for your highest self, and your highest self will reach to you in return. I'm Dr. Lauren, and as always, I tell you in parting, I love you. And there's not a damn thing you can do about it. So take that with you. I'll see you guys. Bye-bye. Thanks, Krista. Great job.
Thank
See you guys Monday morning. Have the best weekend, y'all. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Show me your soul. Baby, I'll show you mine. Show me your soul. Honey, it's way past time. How explicit do I have to be? Need a space.